All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us this evening. At this time, I'd like to ask you all to please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay, I have no board presidents report this evening, so we are going to move on to our student representatives. Ms. Clark and Ms. Diaz, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So this winter we had very good success with our sports. Boys and girls bowling, track, and girls basketball were all champions. This Thursday coming up, we have our spring pep rally and yearly Spartan Olympics, which I know the students are all very excited for. It's been like a good energy in the school. We had hallway decorating by grade today, and we have all our spring sports in full swing.
Also, this past month, we had the showings of the middle school and high school productions of Mean Girls, which were, I can say, were very successful over the course of the weekend. We had, I think, 2 sold-out shows. Multilingual night at Wanamassa Elementary School was also very successful. It allowed different kinds of cultures to collaborate with both their kids and parents, being able to communicate in the community. And Innovation Night at the intermediate school is also very successful, allowing grades K through 8 to see what Ocean has to bring through their choir, their business school program, their tech program, stuff like that. And then esports won their state tournament, which is very exciting since it is their first year as like a team. So it's very exciting to see them being represented as well.
That's it.
Great. Thank you both so much for your reports. I know there's some amazing things going on in both the schools. Thank you so much. And with that, we're going to move on to our superintendent's report, Ms. Weldon.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And thank you for that great report of all the different things happening around the schools. I'd like to just add to that Wayside School is having their spring concert, I believe, tomorrow. I see her shaking her head back there. So that's another great school event. And a reminder to all families that we are closed beginning this Friday for our spring recess. And all next week, we return on April 8th. I don't know if you've heard, but there will be a solar eclipse that day. And so we are busy here in school preparing for that day. There'll be more coming soon. I will send out a communication to all, but we're going to use this as an opportunity for a teachable moment, a lot of science lessons about the solar eclipse, and also a number of safety lessons to make sure that we're all being safe and not looking directly at the sun during the eclipse. But this is a historical event, and we certainly are going to celebrate that with our students when we return from spring recess. Also, after spring recess, we have 2 Spartan Partners in Learning events for our parents. One is on April 10th, and that is on IXL and NJSLA Prep. And the other one on April 15th is on NJSLA Science Preparation. So I encourage parents to take a look at that, and all of that information is on our website. And we send out reminder web backpacks as well. These are great opportunities for you to connect with our academic supervisors and learn about the different things happening in the schools. And now I would like to move to the section of my report, my favorite section, where I get to recognize and honor students and staff for great achievements over the last few months. I'd like to ask the principals to come forward. And also we have our Director of Athletics and Activities here tonight, Mr. Todd. So Ms. Kazuba, Mr. Amato, please join us up front. We're going to be recognizing a number of students for different reasons. And I know some people couldn't be here with us this evening, but they are home online listening. So I will be announcing everybody, whether they're here in person or not. Okay, our first event, our first achievement is the All Shore Jazz Band. And we are honoring advisor, Mr. Kyle Titmus, and honoree student Oliver Van Nostrand. The Oliver auditioned for the All Shore Jazz Band and earned the highest score out of all auditioners. The All Shore Jazz Band is open to any high school jazz band member in Monmouth and Ocean County. For Bass, there are only 2 students admitted. The concert, the All Shore Band concert, was held on February 3rd. 3rd. Congratulations to Oliver and to his advisor, Mr. Kyle Tibbs. Okay, next we are recognizing students for the Central Jersey Music Educators Association Region Band. So we have a few students selected for the region band and one student particular winning an award. The student winning the award is David Furta, 8th grade. And if I don't believe he is here either. Okay, he also won the Richard B. Frankel Founders Award. The Richard B. Frankel Founders Award is given to one student in the All Shore Intermediate Band each year. The award is named for the instrumental music teacher, Mr. Richard Frankel, who was one of the founders of All Shore Intermediate Band. The award is given to an outstanding member of the band who is someone who has demonstrated consistency in striving for excellence as a musician and a member of the ensemble. I'd like to congratulate his advisor, Mrs. Alyssa Ginder, who I know is here this evening. And once again, David. Ginder, you can come on up. We're going to recognize a few more students. Okay, next up, we're going to recognize students for being selected in the region band. Samantha Pagnoni and Aiden Katina, you could please come forward if you're here. Thank you. I'll read a little bit about the region band. The region band is an audition band ensemble consisting of students from Hunterdon, Middlesex, Mercer, and Monmouth, Somerset, and Union counties. Hundreds of student musicians audition, but only the top scorers are accepted into this ensemble. Students who audition must prepare multiple scales from memory and advanced solo, and then will sight read music on the spot during their audition. Once accepted, students practice and perform advanced music with region band, culminating in a concert in March. Did it already take place? It did. The ensemble is incredibly difficult to get into, so we are very proud of our Ocean musicians who were accepted. Again, Ms. Ginder is their advisor. Congratulations to all. You want to take a picture here? And parents, if you want to come up front and take pictures as well, you may. Great. Congratulations again. Next, we're going to recognize our Garden State Esports Winter Championship Street Fighter State Champions. Our Ocean Esports won its first state title in Street Fighter, making them the Garden State Esports Champions. They received first place, beating High Tech High for the win. Our esports competitors are first their advisor, Mr. Joseph Maffei, who could not be here this evening, Harper Lambert, who I believe is here, maybe, no, okay, Javier Sardo, and Osiris Hunley. Okay, well, unfortunately, they couldn't be here this evening, but we congratulate them nonetheless. Great job. Great job. Okay, now I'd like to recognize our indoor track Central Jersey Group 2 champions. First, I'd like to bring up Coach Alex Lynch. Come on up. Assistant Coach Mark DeSoma. Here, very good. And I'd like to recognize Assistant Coach Dana Lee, who could not be here this evening. Our student winners, I'd like to recognize Eve Siegel for shot put. Oh, okay, come on up. Frank McCann won the 400 meters. Also, Monmouth County champion in the 400 meters. Congratulations to both of you. All of you, coach as well. If you'd like to take some pictures here in front of the, and parents, please feel free to come on up and take some pictures.
How fast do you do 400? Pretty fast. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Fast enough to win state. I thought it was gonna say faster than you. I was waiting for that. That's a good question. One more left.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Take-
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, just do it.
Congratulations. Great job. Good job. We're all very, very proud of you. Okay, and finally,
That's
I'd like to
insane.
recognize our bowling team for winning Central Jersey Group 2 champions and Shore Conference A Central Division champions with a record of 45-0. I'd like to bring up their coach, Denise Desposito. Please come forward. And our state champion bowlers, Caitlin Burke, Esmeralda Cruz Vasquez, Amiri Gandhi, Jacqueline Rodriguez Guzman, Julia Highlands, Juliana Lee, and Cinia Terry.
Big red bowling, baby.
Yeah.
Quite a legacy. Quite a legacy.
Congratulations to the bowling team. If you'd like to take a photo, please come on over here.
45-0. Jeez.
Thanks.
Dynasty continues. She's like wants to, yeah, like and
That's
our men's bowling team, same thing. Very impressive records.
Yeah, we have to do 2 rows. Go ahead. We might have to do 2 rows.
Ridiculous.
That's awesome.
Crouch in.
In the water and township. So stoked. to
There you
be
go.
Tech higher.
I know. I'm with you, John. I'm with you, John.
That's the best news ever.
First up, I have to ask, over
Fucking
the
do it.
4-year career of these girls, what was the record?
Oh, God.
How many losses in the 4 years?
Well, I know for this senior crowd, they came with me, in their sophomore years and they were 133-1.
This is my.
Counting. 133-1. Congratulations, ladies. You have made us all very proud.
Great job.
To all of our honorees tonight, the coaches and advisors that helped them get there, the principals and administrators and teachers along the way, you have made all of us very proud. And this is most certainly part of your Spartan legacy. So thank you so, so much. Congratulations. Now, if you have a lot of homework and you'd like to go home, you're welcome to stay, but this would be a good time to get out of here. That's what I want to do.
Congratulations to you all.
Where's he going in the
Yeah.
poll? You don't
Don't
know?
know yet.
TBD? Okay.
Good for you.
Congrats.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I would hope so with a 49. I would hope so. Flash Gordon. Good to see you.
Thank
Okay, and with that, we're going to move on to our school business administrators report.
I have nothing to add to our earlier report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Hastings. This time, we're going to move on to public comment. The following are a series of motions to be read by the committee chairpersons. All motions have been discussed at a recent public work session. Some motions have been approved at a public work session, and the minutes for the approved items are posted on the district website. At this point in the meeting, we will now conduct the first of two public comment sessions. The first session will be open for public comments on agenda items only. The second session will be at the end of the meeting and can be on any topic. Would anyone from the public like to comment on any agenda item at this time? Anyone in the room? No? Ms. Conway? Is there any?
No, Madam President, there are no commenters in the virtual queue. Actually, yes, Alex Hayes. Hold on 1 second.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks. Sorry, I wrote it in the chat earlier. You might not have seen it. Alex Hayes from Oakhurst. I thought I wrote a message to Mr. Hastings yesterday, but apparently it was sent or it was not sent. So I apologize. I would have given you a heads up. Looking at the facilities rental requests, just wondering what Team ARNTS is. I tried to Google it and I had no idea what that was. Maybe our facilities descriptions can give a little bit of a better understanding to the public of who's renting the facilities. And that's Team ARNTZ. Sounded like a bodybuilding camp, but who knows? Also saw the class of 1955 is coming to do an administration building tour. Hope there's photos and that goes online because that will probably be an awesome PR picture. However, I sure hope that they are not in need of any of the access to floor 3 if any of those seniors, need any handicap accessibility, because as you're aware, floor 3 is not handicapped accessible. I was wondering, in the equal employment opportunity, I'm sorry, I can't even read what I wrote here. Equal employment opportunities policy. It mentions that the board will target underutilized groups in every category of employment. So I hope that is seriously taken into consideration with each new hire. It also states under the agenda, under the policies that you're approving tonight, that the equal access of student organizations policy 5842 has been revised by Strauss Esme, and Strauss Esme seriously recommends that districts discuss this policy with the board attorney to determine how best to address the issues that are brought up in recent U.S. Supreme Court decisions. So it's no surprise that there is no attorney there present tonight, but hopefully you all have discussed with Board Attorney Lester Taylor this policy that Strauss Esme is recommending you seek legal counsel on. I think the letter to the Senate Education Committee was exceptionally well written, and I commend you all for actively and proactively doing something like that. I hope you're also doing it for the Assembly Education Committee as well. I know my 5 minutes isn't up yet, so I have a couple more things. The solar eclipse, I've seen on social media a lot of districts, turning it into a learning and teaching moment like Superintendent Weldon mentioned. So I sure hope we are going to be either giving out solar glasses. I know you mentioned safety will be brought up, but at a minimum, if we can give out, a full detailed list of where parents can find solar glasses. I believe the Monmouth County Library System is either selling them or giving them out. And also I see that there's a new football coach. I didn't have a chance to see where he's from, so maybe that will be discussed a little bit later. But being that he has a pending criminal history clearance still out there, so that must mean he's coming to our district from somewhere else. So if I'm presuming that correctly, and the fact that I do know that some internal candidates did try out for the head coach position, it's always nice to see our internal folks being promoted, and I hope Mr. King is a fabulous coach regardless. I think that's about it. So got a lot of reading to do tonight, so I'll log off for now. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes. Is there anyone else in the queue, Ms. Conway?
No, Madam President, there are no further commenters.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, we will move on to our action items. Mr. McCarthy.
Move to approve item 5.1. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
This is approval of 5.1. Mr. Dalton, Mrs. Dam,
Yes.
Mrs. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mrs. McGovern,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Talarico,
Yes.
Mr. Weinstein,
Yes.
Ms. Parlavas.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Personnel, Ms. McGovern.
I'd like to approve items 6.1 through 6.8. May I please have a second?
Second.
This is all items 6.1 to 6.8. Mrs. Dam,
Yes.
Mrs. Gilman,
Yes, and I'd like to offer congratulations to former student Chad King on his selection as a football Spartan coach. And also Miss Emily Deroni, who was also a Spartan as well. And for the resignations, I'll be very sorry to see Mr. Maffei and Tara leave, and I wish them both very well.
Thank you, Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mrs. McGovern,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Talarico,
Recuse.
Mr. Weinstein,
Yes.
Mrs. Parliamentous.
Yes.
All items carried.
Thank you, Ms. McGovern. Financial Management and Resource Services, Mr. Weinstein.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to move for approval item 7.1 to 7.14.
Second.
This is all items 7.1 to 7.14. Mrs. Dam,
Yes.
Mrs. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mrs. McGovern,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mrs. Talarico,
Yes.
Mr. Weinstein,
Yes.
and Ms. Parliamentous.
Yes.
All items carried.
Thank you very much. Instruction, Education, and Student Activities, Ms. Gilman.
Yes, Madam President, I'd like to move to approve 8.1 to 8.9. Are there any comments or questions?
Second.
Thank you.
All items 8.1 to 8.9. Mrs. Dam,
Yes.
Mrs. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mrs. McGovern,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mrs. Talarico,
Yes.
Mr. Weinstein,
Yes, except with 8.7, I'm going to recuse myself with one of the individuals from Monmouth University.
thank you, and Mrs. Parliamentous.
Yes.
All items carried.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Gilman. Negotiations, Mrs. McGovern.
I don't have an update tonight.
Okay, thank you. Policy, Mr. McCarthy. Oh, Ms. Gilman, I apologize.
That's fine, Madam
Apologize.
President. So approval of policies and regulations. Move to approve the third and final reading of revised and abolished policies and or regulations as follows.
Second.
Second.
This is for items 10.1. Mrs. Dam,
Yes.
Mrs. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mrs. McGovern,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mrs. Talarico,
Yes.
Mr. Weinstein,
Yes.
Mrs. Parliamentous.
Yes,
All items carried.
thank you very much. Public Relations, Mr. Weinstein.
Yes, I'd like to move for approval 11.1, 11.2.
Second. John's very quiet.
Easy.
For all items 11.1 and 11.2, Mrs. Dam,
Yes.
Mrs. Gilman,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mrs. McGovern,
Yes.
Mr. Schneider,
Yes.
Mrs. Talarico,
Yes.
Mr. Weinstein,
Yes.
Mrs. Parliamentous.
Yes,
All items carried.
thank you, Mr. Weinstein. At this point of the meeting, I'd like to ask the board if there's any old business. Anyone, Mr. Weinstein, Ms. Talarico, have any old business?
You mean Schneider?
I'm sorry, Mr. Schneider?
No, thank you.
No.
Nope. Okay, any new business from the board? Ms. Dan?
I just wanted to give a shout out. 2 weekends ago, the Wanamassa PTA supported an event with the Deal Lake Ocean Committee. And I thought it was a wonderful event. It was great to see the kids out in their Wanamassa gear, out, cleaning up the community, working together, being outside. So I just wanted to give a shout out for that.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing that.
Ms. Parliamentous.
Yes, Ms. Gilman.
We heard our student representative talk about Mean Girls, and I just wanted to say that one of my high school friends retired to Ocean Township from the Midwest, from Missouri. And he went to see the production of Mean Girls and wrote to me that he thought it was an incredibly professional production. He was so impressed that it was a high school production and wrote this long message to me. I said, I'm going to take your comments to the board, and I saw the production on the Thursday. It was amazing, and I heard that the junior high version of Mean Girls was also very good. So congratulations to both schools on an excellent spring production.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that as well. Is there any new business from Mr. Schneider or Mrs. Talarico?
None for me.
Okay, all right, thank you. Didn't want to leave you guys out. Okay, at this time, we will take public comment on any item. Is there anyone in the room? No? Is there anyone in the queue, Ms. Conway?
No, Madam President, there are no commenters.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask the board for a motion to adjourn. May I please have a second? We are adjourned. Thank you so much for coming out this evening. Have a good night.